Have you ever wondered how Nintendo made that awesome start menu in Super Mario 64 with a floating Mario head that you can pull and deform? Well, wonder no more, because I'm about to show you how I remade Super Mario 64. Well, kinda. Let's go over a quick breakdown of how this was achieved. First, we need a Mario face model that is rigged that'll allow for the face to deform. Next is a method to allow the user to actually interact with the face. And since we don't want to restart the scene every time we deform the face, we need a way to return the model back to the original position. Then finally, some polish to go along with it. So we need a Mario model. I initially attempted creating a model myself using Blender, but then I had a stroke of genius and remembered the internet was a thing. With a quick Google search and 10 viruses downloaded, I had myself a really nice Mario head model to work with. Now for the nightmare portion of this project, rigging the model in Blender. Blender has really come a long way since I last used it, which made this process fairly simple. All I had to do was import the model, create a bone for each feature I wanted to control, then the real scary part, doing the weight painting for each bone. Essentially, this last part is just deciding how much influence the bone has over each vertex in the model. This took a while though, mainly due to my computer wanting to die every time I tried to adjust the weights. Once my computer stopped catching fire from the weight painting, I was able to select both mesh and bone rig and export them to a .fbx file type, which is important for the import into Unity. Time to move out of Blender and get into the heart of Unity. I used Unity 2021.1.5 because I thought I would be able to use the animation rigging package. Simply put, this failed miserably and left me scratching my head for 2 days. Realizing that I could just manipulate the bones from the rig I already created in Blender made it a simple decision to utilize some raycasting and capturing a stored mouse position to drag our bones around. Luckily, only moving the bones on the X and Y axis still gives a decent result, so I didn't have to worry about rotating bones. To be honest, my pea-sized brain would have taken 2 weeks to figure out how to do that anyways, so it's a good thing I avoided it. I know that SM64 has it set so once you let go of a facial feature, it'll auto reset unless you hold down the R button. Even so, I thought I would streamline the process so the facial feature automatically stays distorted until the player right mouse clicks. Speaking of resetting poor Mario's face, we now have the ability to mangle Mario to our heart's content, but have no way of returning him back to normal besides refreshing our scene. The method I came up with wasn't the most elegant, but still turned out great. Placing an empty game object at the exact same transform of the bones made it so I had an easy reference to work with. I could have just as easily stored all the bone transforms during the scene startup, but I figured why not do some extra work. I could have made it when you click to reset all the features, they would instantly snap back to the correct positions. But Nintendo did something clever and made this resetting feature very juicy by giving the objects a wobble or jiggle effect when snapping back to position. I was able to get the bones to reset using a lerp function inside of a coroutine, but this just wasn't cutting it. There was no spice, no pizzazz to this. With a small prayer to the Unity gods and with it being answered, I realized using the bones position and the reset position and calculating the vector between the two, I was able to get the direction. With this direction, I was able to lerp the bones positioned with a directional offset. I decided 2 jiggles was plenty for this project, so with my coroutine being kinda hefty, I had a working base to play around with. We can stretch the face all over and reset it with a simple button click. There is still something that is missing with this project though. Polish. That's right. I need to include some fancy whatchamadoos to this project to make it look all fancy. I started off using Unity's built-in animation tool to create the little intro scene of Mario popping in and looking around with some little facial feature tweaks. This caused some issues since the animator can actually lock an object's position if the animation is still playing, which I got around this by disabling the animator component after the intro played. My next goal was to create player feedback, which I set my sights on the visual side first. I created a particle system, which I have it follow the mouse position and use a sprite particle emission. With some tweaks to the gravity, color over lifetime, and a few other options, I got a nice little effect of trailing stars. I wanted this to only start emitting when the player's cursor is over an area that they can interact with. I just reused the raycast from earlier to check if the object being detected is a bone or not, and disable or enable the particle system accordingly. This was a good start, but still not enough, so I opened up Microsoft Paint 3D and got to work making some mouse icons. Unity uses a 32 by 32 pixel image for cursors, and I wanted to recreate the Mario hand that is open when not interacting and is closed when grabbing something. I just added some code to swap out the sprite cursor on the fly depending on when the player is interacting with the face. The project was looking strong, but was lacking in the audio department. I found some Mario 64 sound files using trusty old Google and supplementary sounds on Zapsplat. I added in the Mario voice line saying "Hello" for the intro, then added some sound effects for when the player clicks or resets the face. Everything was falling into place, but there was one last element that was really bothering me. There was no background music. Luckily, I made a remix of the file select theme using Bosca Coil for a previous project, so I slapped that in, and with that, the project was pretty much complete. I added some more quality of life items, but nothing major, except a secret or two. This was a very fun project to recreate, and if you'd like to try the game for yourself, there's a link in the description to the itch.io page. It is free, so no worries about that. If you made it this far into the video, I would appreciate it if you gave the video a like and also leave a comment below of what you thought of this type of content. I do a variety of videos focused around Unity and indie games, so if you like this, you may enjoy my other stuff. So with that being said, take care and stay safe.